After so long time of waiting, you present us your new solo album called Dark Light. Why do you need so much time, and why in this difficult time of the world recession?
Well, I've excuse me. As most of you will know, I had a break from music, but not because I really wanted to break from music. But what we did, my partner Jack and myself, we moved from England to Scotland. Because I finished my ordinary job because it was getting far too difficult for me, and if I'd have carried on, I think I'd have been, dead. So Jack himself was also wearing himself out because he's older than I am, and he's a brilliant pianist and organist. He plays the organ for churches. And he's also a brilliant pianist, and he plays a track on the new album, as you may know. And he's such a nice guy that he can't say no to anyone. And he was doing far too much work, and he was making himself ill. And he had a stroke, a slight brain stroke. I think people will understand that. But he's okay. But we decided that it would be better if I finished work, and then he also eased off on his playing, and we moved to Scotland for a rest. So we did, and of course that was a big thing to move home and everything. And then I had to set a studio up there, of course, which was a big job. So just one thing, I've chilled out a bit up there because we're in a beautiful location on the west coast of Scotland, which you've just said you probably know. Yeah. And it's a small fishing village, but the fishing fleet still operates, but mostly shellfish like prawns and oyster. And it's like going back to the 1950s. It's a community spirit. And the people there have been extremely kind, and we've made some wonderful friends, and they've welcomed us, and we've settled there as though we've been there for a very long time, which is a lovely, lovely feeling. So basically, no, it's just because I've chilled out, in effect, and we've had a break. Both of us have had a break. And then, of course, I don't know whether you know about the Dundee concert that we did I think most of the fans will remember the festival in the UK called UK Electronica, which started in 1983. Well, last year, in 2008, obviously was the 25th anniversary of it. It hasn't happened for a few years, due to various reasons. But one of the organisers, Andy Garibaldi, he was one of the original organisers in 83. And he didn't want to even though the festival hasn't actually happened for a few years, he wanted not to let the anniversary go by without doing some kind of concert. And I was the first person he asked. So we did that, and one of the other original organisers, a lady called Jeanette, and she was known as Jeanette Emsley then. She came all the way up from the south of England to see me. And of course it was great to see everyone after so long. And we had a great time, although the event itself didn't go too well, but it wasn't anyone's fault. The people that were there enjoyed the concert, and that was fine. And Jeanette's daughter, called Melanie, asked me a big favour for her mother, Jeanette. And she said, John, she says, Mum has everything. She says, what? I can't get her anything for Christmas, for a Christmas gift. Will you write her some music? So I said, okay, yeah, I'm still writing, even though I haven't been playing or releasing CDs. I'm still writing music. So I said, yeah, I've got plenty of stuff. I'll make her a song out of something that I already have. So I did that, and she thought it was absolutely wonderful. Well, the basis of that is the title track on the new album, which is Dark Light. So what we did, my niece and her husband, who now live next door to us up there in Scotland, they've moved up to Scotland as well. She said, John, what you want to do is, she says, bring it up tempo at the end. Really bring it up tempo. Right, so I said, okay. And then she said, Lynn, my niece, writes beautiful poetry. and she has a book coming out soon of poetry,
Yes.
and she wrote me the words on the Darklight album.
Like a song, I think.
No, it's not singing. It's just it's a poem, and because what the basis, the idea behind this album, really, which people may want to know, is that everybody in the past, when we've been here in the Netherlands or in Germany or the USA or whatever, they always say, "Where does your music come from?" Because you cannot read music, which I can't, and it's very difficult to explain. It comes from inside. But any musician will tell you the same. We don't know where it comes from. So I had this idea that I must have been taken somewhere and shown this music.